Welcome back guys, it's Pliskin here. Today we're going to do another episode in the survival loadout series. In case you didn't see my last episode, I'll put the link in the description. This is a series where we talk about what kinds of equipment can get you out of wacky scenarios that I dream up on board in quarantine. So for today's scenario, congrats, Big Boss just rescued you from a deadly situation. Before you can celebrate though, you're informed that he didn't save your life for free. Big Boss demands that if you want your freedom, you must serve Mother Base. You have to complete one mission in order to earn Diamond Dog some GMP. Your mission is as follows. You must eliminate a general, traveling between two bases in Afghanistan. He is guarded by a tank and a squad car. He will make trips between these bases 3 times a day in just one 24-hour period, at 6 a.m., noon, and 9 p.m. Your only support from Mother Base is your loadout, so no horses, no D-Walker, nothing that can cheese the mission for you or allow you to carry copious amounts of stuff like rocket launchers and yada yada. So just like last time, we're going to go over the items I think you should bring first. Keeping in mind, again guys, that this is generalized, so the goal weight is going to be 25 pounds since I feel that's what the average, somewhat fit person would be able to carry with them through precarious situations like this. Now, of course, being in Afghanistan with a lot of rocks and everything that you can scrape yourself on, potential of being stabbed, wildlife isn't so dangerous, but there's still chances you'll scrape and cut yourself. So a first aid kit's going to be mandatory, bringing us to 6 pounds. Now, unlike Kairat, I'm definitely going to recommend that you do whatever it is you do at nighttime, since the wildlife isn't that threatening. You can go out and not worry too much, but what is going to be threatening are snipers. It's big open fields after big open fields with no foliage. It's a desert, so you're constantly going to be exposed. Therefore, the best time to move out and around would be at nighttime. So having night vision goggles would give you a serious edge against heavily armed opponents. This brings us up by another pound, leaving us at 7 pounds. While I'm sure you could go for an entire day in the desert without eating, drinking is another matter entirely. That's why, unlike Kairat where you have tons of water around, you're going to be in a desert, it's going to be hot, you're going to need to hydrate yourself, especially if you're on the move and in high tense scenarios constantly sweating. Therefore, a canteen will be mandatory, or at least recommended, and this boosts us up by 2 pounds. Moving on towards your arsenal now, Snake might be an expert at infiltration. He might be highly trained in martial arts. He might have that high skill set. You might. However, we're trying to keep this generalized, so I'm going to recommend something that's powerful, lightweight, and capable of doing damage at longer ranges. And when I think of that for a desert scenario, nothing comes to mind stronger than the FN Scar H. Now, there are many ways to optimize this very versatile and modular weapon. However, I'd recommend optimizing it for longer ranges, for all the reasons I just brought up. Also, there's a tank around. You don't want to be anywhere near its range, and you also don't want to be near the squad car of heavily armed Soviet troops. Therefore, something that can double as a sniper and mid-range rifle is essential. Now, in terms of what to put on it, I'd recommend having a 6x optic, a flash hider, since you're not really going to suppress this due to the power of the 308 round being so freaking loud. It gives you that range, but you're going to telegraph your position by sound. So at the very least, you should have something hiding your muzzle flare, so that way you can still remain sort of stealthy. And then I'd also add a bipod on that. Since you're going to be using this at a distance, it's best to have the most stable shot that you can possibly get. Now, with all these attachments on this optimized Scar H for long ranges, it would bring it to about 9 pounds. But let's say you have no faith in your aim and you really don't want the enemy to even have a general idea where you are, and this is perfectly understandable because there's a freaking tank. And you're vastly outnumbered in open fields, essentially. So in that case, I'd recommend C4. In terms of how much to carry, I'd say 3 blocks, which would bring us to 3.75 pounds. Now, this is heavy for an explosive, however, it does have the benefit of giving you the chance to strike at the general at each of the 3 times that he's going to be traveling. Then you don't even have to worry about the tank or his other troops because he's already dead and you're already running. So 3 C4s for the 3 chances that you get. Now, if this is all you wanted to ask for your loadout, you could get away with it, because this just brings us to a little over 26 pounds. That being said though, I think because our weight is so close to our goal, we can get away with improving your odds just a little more. And yes, unlike Kyrat, you can carry a sidearm. Now for the sidearm I'd recommend it would be the Glock 19. Now here we see GARAND Thumb, awesome channel, check him out, running the Glock 19X. You're not going to be running that, you're just going to be running a plain old Glock 19. Nothing special about it, nothing on top of it. Your main gun's going to be your SCAR for all the reasons that I mentioned. You don't need flashlights because you have night vision. This is just a backup for if a jackal or a wolf comes up from behind you, you have something you can pull out. If a Soviet troop stumbles across you, you could just pull this out fast. So it's kind of like our knife replacer from Far Cry 4. Because there's not really going to be any need to get close. I don't recommend getting close in these scenarios. So a Glock 19 is the best choice because it's just so damn light, coming in at 23.65 ounces, which is just around a little bit over a pound. So in short, it's a nice little lightweight backup gun for when things go south and too close to you, because you don't want to get close enough to use a knife since these guys are all going to be in line together. Hell, you don't even want to get close enough to use this Glock 19. It's just nice to have because you can deal with the weight, and that's why we're including it. So even with us being cheeky to take more than we reasonably should carry, this only brings us to a little over 27 pounds, which is much better considering we only had 1 gun and much less tools at our disposal in Kyrat, and we were at almost 30 pounds. Now, that being said, you could reach the goal weight of 25 pounds if you lose the Glock 19 and you lose the rounds of 9mm ammunition. However, I think 27 pounds you could still get away with, especially with the way that it's going to be distributed through the guns rather than just heavy-ass climbing gear on your body. I didn't account for the clothes since you'd be wearing light fatigues, maybe a hat, nothing that'll really hamper you. That being said, guys, I think this would be the best loadout to give you the best odds and to leave Big Boss's service alive. But what do you think? Are there other guns that would have been better for this scenario? Should you just say screw it and bring a rocket launcher? Leave your answers in the comments below, like and subscribe. This has been Pliskin, over and out.